welcome to finals night for week 1 here at the Online Darts Live League. It is phase 2 and things have changed, of course. We hope that you've been able to tune in the rest of the week, but if you haven't, we will walk you through what the permutations are for tonight. But we have 6 players fighting for 3 spots in finals week for Champions Week. So, will they be back in week number 5? We will find out over the course of the next 4 hours or so. We have the likes of Martin Adams and Kevin Burness and James Richardson, who have had incredible form this week. We have 2 players that I've just mentioned who are on very large win streaks. But don't discount the likes of Barstow, Scott Marsh and Robert Thornton, who may go under the radar a little bit tonight. But 6 players will be split into 2 groups. They will play 2 matches in each group, each person, of course, and then their respective positions in each table will stipulate whether they make the semi-finals. We will have a final tonight to see who wins the weekly table, but that 3rd, 4th place playoff could be very, very important indeed, because if you lose that match, you will not find your way to Champions Week in week 5. We've had an amazing week this week with a high average of 117.2. It's been full of ton plus averages. It's been brilliant when it comes to win streaks for the likes of James Richardson and Kevin Burness. But they will do battle in game number 2 tonight, and one of their win streaks will go better. One of them will be lost. So what will happen with that one? Well, we're about to go down to the board to get cracking with our first match, which is Scott Marsh and Martin Adams. Martin Adams, who has had a couple of days off after winning Group A. He only just won that group over Aaron Monk. He didn't have a very good Group B, so he has not made it to the end of this week on Saturday night. But sit down, get yourself a nice, calming, relaxing cup of tea, and find yourself a favourite for the night and back them to the end, as we will probably go right down to the wire at around about 1:30 in the morning British time. Really, really looking forward to this evening. And here you see the fixtures for the night. Martin Adams will start against Scott Marsh. Richardson, Burness, maybe one of the biggest matches of the night, as Richardson's got a 10-match winning streak. Burness 13 in his winning streak. 2 greats in Thornton versus Adams. Then Barstow against Richardson. Barstow has a bit of a wait until his first match, and I think maybe he could go under the radar tonight. He only just made it through Group B. Marsh and Thornton, then it is Burness and Barstow to finish us off, where we will find out at that point who will play in the semi-finals. We have a small break between the last group game and the semi-finals, but please bear with us if you're tuning in either on YouTube via the Online Darts official YouTube channel, or indeed on Sporty Stuff TV tonight. We welcome all of the viewers tuning in on that as well. That 3rd, 4th place playoff will take around 12:30, maybe a tiny bit after that, and then the final to see who wins the entire week. It could be any of these players. It really could, because everybody has had a standout performance this week so far. If not a standout performance, a standout part of a performance. Martin Adams will, I'm sure, have plenty of fans tonight, and a lot of people will be going for him. There may be plenty of people who are going for Scott Marsh tonight. But Wolfie sporting one of his prostate cancer charity shirts tonight. The 64-year-old. Currently residing in Cambridgeshire against the man from Kent. 26 years his junior. If you think that's an age gap, in darts, that's nothing. Last year, when Martin was 63 years of age, he was playing against a young man from Ireland called Keane Barry, and he was 45 years younger. So that's darts for you right there. But these guys came through different groups.
Okay, first leg, it's Martin to throw first. Game on.
It's Wolfie who has the darts at the start of this one. Martin won Group A. Really good effort from the legend.
60.
3-time a Lakeside champion. Scott Marsh noted as a soft tip darts specialist, and if you're not familiar with soft tip darts, it's very similar to what you will see tonight. But essentially what you're doing is throwing the same dart with a plastic tip against a computer. A computer that registers all of the scores for you.
100.
The video game version of professional darts. Expect plenty of snarling from this man from Kent. You might be watching the left-hand side of your screen most of the time.
100.
Check out the facial expressions of Marsh. It gives you your money's worth. So it will be 6 group matches, 2 per player, 2 semi-finals,
41.
and then, of course, the third place playoff, followed by the final. The finalists will both advance to week number 5. And over the course of the next 3 weeks, we will put more people into
55.
Champions Week in week 5. And then that week, if you get into the Saturday night's action there, that's where the big prize is on offer. £10,000 in prize money that evening and £5,000 to the winner.
85.
That's the gold at the end of the rainbow. And in the grand scheme of amateur darts right now, that's a lot of money. That could set up their entire year for wherever they choose to play from here.
125.
As far as Marsh's week is concerned, he's had a very good win percentage this week. He's only played 8 games, but he's won 75% of those.
80. Scott, you require 121.
He's had the stronger start as well. Is this a sign that Adams, who has not played for a couple of days, is just coming in a little bit colder than Scott, who has actually played today?
81.
He played his last match of Group B
I
at
called
around about
80
1
for
o'clock this
Marshall's
morning.
last score. Please change that to 80.
Just a little bit of a score correction before we go ahead with Martin's next visit. It will be his 6th visit of this leg.
There we go. Martin, you require 135.
So the bullseye will be his target. He's got a good guide if he gets the 60 here. And Marsh, in this best of 7 match, which all
Scott,
matches
you
are,
require 40.
has got a great chance to break the throw early here. Double 10. Early chance missed.
Martin, you require 86.
You can't afford to do that against Martin in this format. He should be guaranteeing the bull here. And I think he has. I don't think that's in the treble.
Game shot.
That one's in the bullseye.
Martin
He
Adams.
shrugs his shoulders. But I did say, Scott, you can't afford to miss 3 clean darts at a double against that man right there. He has got more experience than most players on this planet.
Second leg, it's
That
Scott
86
to
was
throw
world
first.
class.
Game on.
Scott came through Group B in 2nd position.
140.
And as good as his win percentage was in Group B, winning 6 matches of 8, it wasn't anywhere close to what James Richardson did in Group B.
100.
He won every game he played. And we will see Richardson in the next match against Kevin Burness. We have some players tonight who have played 5 days this week already.
125.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So they've been very busy. Those players are James Richardson, Kevin Burness, and Robert Thornton.
125.
I said a little bit earlier when doing a bit of a preview show for tonight. That may be the most important first match for
85.
anybody to have a chance of making the top half of this table. Is Marsh getting a result here? If he doesn't beat Wolfie, he is going to need to beat Robert Thornton in match 5.
100. Scott, you require 151.
He's got 6 darts from here, though. He's got 130 left. He's got plenty of options here.
41.
I think wisely he stayed on the 20 there. But overall, he will not be happy with that result. Not sure Martin's happy with this result so far.
44. Scott, you require 110.
60-10 tops would have been the traditional route, but small 1
38.
was never going to help him.
Martin, you require
In the last leg, Adams had 135. Same first start, different result. So 124 cannot be completed with 2 darts in hand. But Marsh has made
116.
a real hash of his position,
Scott, you require 72.
leaving 151 after 9. He's only left 72 after 15. That's better. That does give him 2 darts for the leg. Got to go to the left.
54.
Didn't
Martin,
give it
you
enough
require
air.
16.
And Martin Adams is getting very fortunate in this match.
No
Oh,
score.
but that is not fortunate.
Scott, you require 18.
Right number, wrong bed. He can't finish on singles.
Game shot in the
He
second
can finish
leg.
on double 9
Scott
though.
Marsh.
And he's just a little bit fortunate himself that Martin Adams couldn't bring his lead to 2-0. Scott Marsh has equalised on 1 leg all. And can he take advantage of this fortune early in this
Martin
match?
to throw first. Game on.
Through Group A, Adams won 9 matches and lost 6 for a win percentage of 60%. Now, ordinarily, through our Phase 1
28.
competition, 60% wouldn't have got you through Group A. We've seen players rack up as many as 26 points
60.
in the Monday to Wednesday action. But because the Group A action this week was so tight and so spread out amongst all 6 players, Adams getting 18 points was enough. Fending off Aaron Monk
25.
by 1 solitary game. High checkout this week for Adams of 160. Marsh
100.
getting a 102 as his highest checkout. That's the lowest of all 6 players this evening. But what has gone before this week?
95.
I will talk a lot about, because that's my job as a commentator, of course, to tell you what's happened over the last 5 days. But everything that has happened up till now is just to get you here, to have this chance of coming through week 1.
100.
It's a somewhat slow start from both players, it has to be said. And I think Scott Marsh in the background is trying to figure out how
44.
to just pep things up a bit. It doesn't seem to me like a game with a great deal of rhythm. It strikes me as the fixture that
100.
both players may not enjoy, because they don't seem to be able to feed off each other's pace. When you see Thornton playing against somebody a bit quicker like Richardson, for example, you'll see those two complete legs really quickly because they love each other's pace. But this is very deliberate.
100.
And Marsh is 41 away from a 2-1 lead. And based on the positions he's had in this game so far, he should be looking at a 3-0 lead.
Scott, you require 41.
Double top is the option taken.
Game shot in the
And a
third
very
leg.
wise choice
Scott
indeed.
Marsh.
That is now a break of throw. It could have been 2 breaks of throw, but never look a gift horse in the mouth. 2-1 up, and you're throwing for a 3-1 lead against a legend.
Fourth leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Just chatting to some of our backstage crew over the last couple of hours. I've discussed Scott Marsh at length.
96.
You look at his running average for the week, which is 89.42. Very similar to his high checkout of the week. It's the lowest of this group of players.
96.
So what does that tell you about Scott Marsh? It tells you that he's very good at picking games off when he's not playing his best darts. Scott's only got 7 180s
39.
this week as well. Yes, he's only played 8 matches. Martin's played 15, but Martin's got 29 180s. What does that tell you?
121.
Well, everything that has gone before, like I said, is almost irrelevant. There's a saying within this sport that darts is on the day. That's all about today. And, of course,
95.
the early hours of tomorrow, because we will go past the midnight hour. And today, Scott Marsh seems to have the measure of whatever Wolfie is capable of.
54.
You should start on 19s on 271. If you're going to count it down right, it's the right thing to do. But he might still leave a finish.
100.
And because he doesn't,
Scott,
Marsh
you
again
require
has got 6 darts
170.
from a doable out. I say doable. It's improbable. And now it's impossible.
$83.
Somewhat cut in half his score there. And Marsh is 87 points away from his first victory against Martin Adams.
139. Scott, you require 87.
Treble 17 for double 18 to be 1 away. That makes things really difficult.
47. Martin,
don't
you require 32.
Suspect that this is going to be missed. Loves it down at double 16. Now this is awkward. That first flight is in the way.
16.
And you saw it quiver a little bit.
Scott, you require 40.
I've used that word fortunate. He's had plenty of fortune in this game. He has to use it. Double 10.
Game shot
And
on the
he
fourth
has
leg.
used it.
Scott Marsh.
He has backed up the break of throw. Maybe not as efficiently as he would have liked. But the fact of the matter is he is 3-1 up against Wolfie. And Wolfie is in early trouble
Fifth
this
leg, it's
evening.
Martin to throw first. Game on.
I've been asked a few times over the last few hours who I suspect will come through this group. Well, I looked at James Richardson as
100.
someone who I feel is going to make it through. The way that Kevin Burness has played this week, He would be up there. But I just had a sneaky feeling that maybe Richardson might get through. And possibly Robert Thornton with
60.
The way that things have panned out for him this week. Just because you won a group, whether it be A, B or C, it's no guarantee of success. But sometimes you just get a feeling about a player.
140.
I didn't think at the start of play that Scott Marsh would be 3-1 up against Martin, though. Just looking at their head-to-head battles that they've had previously, and both of them have taken place on Saturday nights in weekly finals. First time in week 1 in phase 1. It was a 4-2 victory for Martin.
100.
In week 7, it was a 4-0 victory for Martin. Both times he averaged in the mid-90s. This time his average is a good 15 down on what he's previously done against Scott.
100. Martin, you require 161.
This time Martin has 6 starts himself. Maybe it's a good thing he didn't get the treble 17 there, because it took the temptation of hitting the bullseye on dart 3 away. Scott Marsh, of course, is the
13
champion from week 1 of phase
Martin,
1. So he's looking to do the double.
64.
Week 1 of phase 2. But it's looking like it's going to be 2-3.
Game shot.
And that's what you have. Just a little bit more sharpness there from Martin Adams. He has struggled to get rid of legs in an efficient manner so far tonight, but that is a marked improvement. First one in the bank. He needs another 2 to get an unlikely victory.
Scott to throw first. Game on.
"95 games have been completed
60.
up until the start of this evening. We'll get 10 more tonight. And that'll make 105 games that have been refereed by our referee tonight, Owen Binks.
100.
Fine job as well. When Scott Marsh won week 1 of phase 1, he won it on leg difference.
100.
At the same points as another player. Just won based on more legs won. And, of course, less legs conceded.
140.
Who did he beat? It was Wolfie. But Wolfie came back in week 7 and picked up the title on that night. So when they play each other on Saturday nights, one of those two picks up the title
62.
for the week. Will that be the case again? This week has had so many highlights.
140.
Including plenty of those from Martin. And at the right time, he is starting to fire properly. 9 darts delivered.
85.
121 left.
Martin, you require
6 darts for it.
121.
A lot of people might think that Martin is the favourite to win the match now, because if he does win this leg,
97.
which is more likely now, he will throw first in leg 7. Classic Wolfie, really. One of the stalwarts of the short format game.
100.
Something he was very well versed in
Martin, you require
as a BDO
24.
player for 30 years. One more.
No
He
score.
can't complete it. And Marsh,
Scott, you require 94.
who last night had an incredible 93 checkout on the bull, is going to go the same route for the 94. 25 first, and he's covered it again. This time it's 69. Bullseye with not a full bullseye to aim at for the match.
69.
And he's missed it.
Martin, you require
By
24.
around a centimetre. Second take on double 12. He's missed it 4 times now. Different target to save the match.
Game shown the sick flag. Martin Adams.
He may have dodged a bit of a bullet there, Martin Adams. 5 misses at double 12 is not likely from Wolfie, but the thing is, he did give himself a fresh target to stay in the match, and it's 3-3 in the first game of the night.
And final leg, it's Martin to throw first. Game on.
Here he comes.
140.
Sheer experience. Think about all of the tournaments that Wolfie's played in over the last 3 decades, where most of them have started best of 5 legs. Think about the Dutch Opens that he's won. Can you imagine what it's like to win a darts tournament that starts with thousands of people?
180.
What a time to get your first and the game's first 180. This week, he has done one thing better than any other player. And that is hitting a maximum 180 with the very last chance to do so in a match. Not just in a leg, in the entire contest. He's done it at least 4 times.
41.
But that 41 to back up the maximum just gives Scott Marsh the tiniest glimmer of hope. He's done very well.
Martin, you require 140.
125 left, so he's not going to take it. Marsh, who has missed a 94 out, on the bullseye
100
to finish this job.
Scott, you require 160.
We'll have one more go. 4 19s. Good lie. Bounce it in off the top. Just like that. Double top.
96.
And Adams was shrugging his shoulders as if to say,
Martin, you require
I've done all I can. But it's 2 mismatched darts in 2 different legs. Adams has 1 left at double 5. And it's there right at the death.
Martin Adams.
And this time it's Scott Marsh who was left shaking his head in the background. He's lost by 4 legs to 3, and that could be a very, very important result. You see the averages there around the early 80s, so improvements to be made. But before we go into the next match, let's just say both of them are undefeated since Wednesday. Who's going to win it? You'll find out after the break. Good evening and welcome back to our online darts live league finals for week 1. We will now press on with 47-year-old James Richardson, who won Group B against Kevin Burness, the 55-year-old Northern Irishman, who won Group C.
Okay, first leg, it's
So
James
much to look forward to
first.
with this match.
Game on.
This comes from group number 2 tonight, which also involves Chaz Barstow, who could be the spoiler in that group. But we have to talk about the prowess of the players in this group. These two have been unbelievable the last couple of days.
100.
Neither of them were able to take the top spot in Group A. And what I'm about to say will show you just how strong that first group was
96.
Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, because these two, since the end of Group A on Wednesday afternoon, have not lost one single match.
140.
Taking into consideration what they did at the end of Wednesday's session and what they did on Thursday and Friday, in different groups, of course.
81.
Richardson has won 10 matches straight. Burness has won 13.
60. James, you require 144.
That 13-match winning streak is now an online darts live league record, breaking the record of Mike Warburton from Phase 1, where he won 12 in a row. But I sneakily suspect, with this strong start from Richardson,
44.
that he may be under the
James,
pump
you
a little
require
bit here.
40.
He barely missed double top last night,
Game
and he hasn't missed it again.
James Richardson.
What a player he has been the last couple of nights, especially last night where he was barely troubled. One person got within one leg of him, and that's about it. He doesn't miss tops.
Kevin to throw first. Game on.
I'm not sure if there was one visit
134.
where he left tops where he didn't hit it. It was absolutely remarkable. And after a week where he's hit a maximum 170 checkout, he's hit a 9-dart leg, registered a best average in an individual game against Aaron Monk of 107.59. You think to yourself, what more could James do? Well, he could get another 9-darter. He could get another 170 checkout.
140.
But as long as the Modern Amateur Darts European Champion comes in the top 3 tonight, that will bring him back to Champions Week in Week 5. And a win in this match against Burness will give him a great start in group number 2 here. And he will play the second match of Group 2 against Barstow in match number 4.
131.
Regardless of what Burness does here, he will have to wait until Game 6 to play against Chaz. 12 for Bull. To be 2-0 up.
56.
Not far away, and
Kevin,
Burness needs to answer here. Can't miss this. And probably won't.
Game show on the second leg. Kevin
Because he's used to winning legs. I get the feeling this one is just getting started. I would be very shocked if it's not won by 4 legs to 3 by either player. But it is level, and it's now best of 5 from here.
It's James to throw first. Game on.
When calling in the last couple of days' action and seeing how things were unfolding, I didn't get the fixture sheet for tonight
100.
until this morning. And before I did, I was hoping that these two would play each other. And when I saw it was match 2, it jumped off the page to me. 24 180s for the week
100
for James Richardson. He's already got one in this match, so that's 25.
97.
Burness, who admittedly has played more matches than James, has got 36. But that's not the most of any player. Robert Thornton's got 38.
140.
I'm not shocked at all to see the averages both in 3 figures at this early stage.
140.
We'll keep tabs on that because
James
it
require
was
161.
this fixture that delivered us the best individual performance of Phase 2 so far. Oh.
121. Kevin, you require
No matter if he hits a shot or not, it still looks good. But this is the perfect chance to break. And that is missed by the finest margin.
92. James, you require 40.
Double top. He doesn't miss.
Game shot on the third leg. James Richardson.
Borderline predictable darts from James Richardson. And you might think to yourself, that's boring. He just keeps hitting it. No, it's just really impressive. He doesn't miss double top. Pressure on him the next time he's got it, though.
Game on.
Now, if Burness understands how James has played the last couple of nights,
180.
he's going to need a lot more of that. His first 180 of the contest. And the golden rule of playing Ruthless Richardson right now is do not
80.
give him a shot at the 40 bed. 3 legs into this match. 67% on doubles for Richardson. 100% for Burness.
83.
You're seeing 2 players at the height of their confidence. When you're playing like this
100.
and you're winning all the time, you're not worried about your kit, you're not worried about your mind, you're not worried about your technique, you're just playing because you know what you're doing is working.
40.
If Richardson does win this match, he will stop the win streak for Burness at 13.
180.
Second maximum of the
Kevin,
match.
you require 98.
But it's Burness who's got the better score after 9 darts. If Richardson does win this match,
42.
he goes to a win streak of
James
11
require
and will have a chance to break
141.
Burness's record tonight.
$62.
And these are the shots
Kevin, you require
that he has
56.
mastered this week. The 76s, the 56s, the 60s. Double top.
Game shot on the fourth leg. Kevin Burness.
Double top is getting a bit of a hiding in this match. It's 2 legs all, and tops has been hit 4 times. Can we possibly have a match that's 4-3 with 7 double tops?
His leg,
It's
James
on.
to throw first. Game on.
There was a game between Richardson and Chaz Barstow last night
100.
where every single shot at a double in the match was at double top.
60.
Kevin Burness averaging 104. Richardson is a lot higher than that. Yes, I said higher,
55.
not lower. Higher. 113.
$100.
Sometimes it's good just to sit back and realise how good a game is. And you would not want to be Chaz Barstow in Group 2 tonight, playing against both of these guys.
40.
If he's going to get through this group and into the semi-finals, he's going to have to play better than the last couple of days.
100.
Not to say that Chaz played poorly, but his B game dragged him through in last position
100.
in yesterday's Group B. We haven't had a break of throw,
140. James, you require
and we've only had one missed start at
106.
double. 6 for tops. Double 18. Oh, he didn't mean to do that. But it
James
worked.
on the fifth leg.
And that's the
James
beauty of
Richardson.
10 or a 6. That is a saying within our sport. When you've got 46 left, the safe bet is 10 or a 6, because if he went low on a 14 shot, he would have hit an 11. The safety
It's Kevin
shot
to
on the
throw
10
first.
gave him a shot at a double, and he's
Game
3-2
on.
up.
$100.
We aren't going to get that match where every double at the end is a double top, but that's just me looking for patterns.
96.
Is it possible that Burness is going to lose with 100% on doubles and an average of over 103?
49.
If James keeps playing this well, I don't think he will be beaten at any point, unless someone has one of the best nights
41.
of their career. Scott Marsh won his first game. Sorry, he lost his first game by 4 legs to 3
140.
with an 82 average, which was just greater by 1 point than Martin Adams. But this is a very, very different stratosphere as we see a third maximum for Richardson.
60.
The win streak of Burness is in huge doubt.
$100. Kevin, you require
Said it was 13 games.
152.
It might be unlucky for Kevin, because Richardson on 84 is going to get a shot to win by 4 legs to 2. Leg difference
Kevin, you
will come
require
into play
84.
in this group, you feel. Unless, of course, if you're James Richardson and win both your games, because you will be through to the semis. Bullseye.
Game shot out the match.
Absolutely extraordinary performance from James Richardson. His win streak goes to 11, but it halts at 13 for Kevin Burness, who's in trouble in the group. Look at this. Richardson, 108, 101 from Burness, and 100% on his doubles. He didn't do a great deal wrong, but he lost to the better player. When we return, it will be Robert Thornton's first game, and he's up against Martin Adams, who plays his second of the group. If he wins, he will be through. Find out after the break. Welcome back to the Week 1 finals here at the Online Darts Live League. Two legends will collide in match number 3. And they've got quite an act to follow, considering what James Richardson has just done in match number 2. He's just registered his best average of the entire week in 108.83 and 80% on his doubles. In 6 legs in that match, we only had 1 missed double. A world-class standard. But as far as Martin Adams is concerned, in this 5th meeting with Robert Thornton in the last week, he understands that if he wins by any margin, he will be safe and into the semi-finals tonight and will be one match away from the Champions Week.
Game on.
They played a week ago on Saturday night in the Phase 2 curtain raiser live on Sporty Stuff TV and the Online Darts YouTube channel. Back then,
66.
It was a semi-final. And that Thornton 4-2 victory stopped Adams from getting to the final against Richie Burnett. Consequently, Robert lost to Richie, and the Sporty Stuff TV trophy went to the Prince of Wales. Then Martin and Robert were both involved in Group A, where they had 3 matches. 2 were won by Martin, and in the middle of those 2 wins was a 4-2 victory for Robert.
57.
One of his best performances of the week, in fact, averaging 97.5 with a high checkout of 120.
$100.
But Adams, you feel, will have to play better than he did against Scott Marsh in his first game. He was grinding his way to victory in that one with an 81 average.
24.
But against Robert, he might need just a little bit more. He said in an interview earlier this evening that he was feeling fresh ahead of this challenge. Having not played for the last couple of days, that's the benefit of winning Group A. Get a couple of days off before the finals. Robert is playing his 6th day in succession.
Martin, you require 153.
He's playing his 7th day in 8.
$59.
Can Robert find his way to tops here on this 112? He's had some issues on tops this week. So go to double 16 instead.
80.
And the darts, when they're hitting the board, are just wobbling 94. A little bit. We'll keep an eye out for that. 91 left with 2 darts. That's 2 threes.
$21.
Not the best visit there for Martin.
Require 32.
And Robert is looking for an early hold here on double 16.
No score.
What a collision that was. I think that dart came in a little bit sideways 73. And wasn't pure. So he could have his throw stolen here on tops.
Game shot on the first
classic
leg.
Wolfie.
Martin Adams.
That's what Wolves do. They seek out their prey, and then when they see a little bit of weakness, they snap in there and get it. And that's exactly what Wolfie's just done for a break of throw for 1-0.
Second leg, it's Martin to throw first. Game on.
Feel free to get in touch with us this evening, whether it's via the address you see on your bottom right of the screen at Darts Live League, hashtag OD Live League. You can get in touch with me if you wish at the Asset 180 on Twitter. But we do have all social channels for Online Darts, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
140.
Wherever you are around the world, whatever you're doing, we'll hope you're having a very pleasant evening. And if you are choosing to have a flutter on any matches or indeed the final result
60.
of today's proceedings, please gamble responsibly. Over 18s only, remember, and begambleaware.org for more information.
57.
So far this evening, the better standard is coming from Group 2. The Group A matches have been following a bit of a pattern,
100.
and that they have not been in the 90s range or above yet. Are we seeing
40.
Group 2 as the stronger group? And that being the case so far this evening, I'm not surprised. It's almost a shame that we have to lose either Richardson,
140.
Burness or Barstow, because they're all fantastic to watch. But Adams knows,
140.
especially after stealing that first leg
101.
and possibly getting a second here to consolidate that break. He's not going to do it now, but any win and he's in. But if he loses,
61. Robert, you require
anything is possible in this
124.
group. Apologies, I was looking at Robert's score when thinking about Martin's possibilities.
42.
Turns out that first dart was a good miss.
Martin, you require 40.
But it's tops again for an improved leg in leg 2. That one caressed the wire.
20.
And when it's that close,
Robert, you require
I'm not
82.
so sure it's a decent guide for the way that Martins throws. Double 16 again. Can he hit it this time?
74.
He can't hit any double.
Martin, you require 20.
Two different types of double for both players so far in this match, and that is a big miss. Single one for double 2 now. Or that for double 1. Oh, he just had a sense that it was going to go in. What an incredible turn of events there as Robert Thornton misses a couple of darts to take that second leg. And again, Martin pinches it in a somewhat unconventional manner. 2-0 now to Wolfie.
Robert to throw first. Game on.
When Robert beat Martin 7 days ago,
125.
his average was 6 less than that of Martin's. Martin averaged 101.33 and only registered 2 winning legs with 2 shots at a double.
40.
This time, his double prowess after 2 winning legs is 28%.
121.
Just more proof that every darts match is different. Robert's worked very, very hard this week. And I think he's done very well
60.
just to get in this finals night. Yesterday morning, he played well enough into Friday afternoon.
40.
And he needed a favour from Jamie Kelling in the last match of Group C, because if Jamie Kelling
61.
had lost the 5th leg of that match, Robert wouldn't be here. It would be Matthew Dennant instead. .76 left.
52.
74, in fact. That was my bad. Can't afford to keep missing doubles.
135.
Especially now that Martin has approached a finish that is very gettable. Again, he's low on that first dart. So, he's missed the 5, which would have given him tops. That's 2 big misses there.
47. Martin, you require 105.
If this goes, Robert is going to have to think, it's not going my way. Double 16 for for 3-0.
Game
Oh,
shown
look
the
at that.
third leg,
Robert
Martin
Thornton will
Adams.
not be able to breathe when he looks at that because that leg was in the palm of his hand. He's just let it slip and it's fallen on the floor. 3-0 to Wolfie, and he's one leg away from the semi-finals.
Fourth leg, it's Martin to throw first. Game on.
He's been doing this to opponents for such a long time.
139.
Evidently comfortable with the format. Comfortable with playing right here at the studio for the Online Darts Live League.
140.
He's been full of smiles all week. He's been confident. He's been happy. And he's been wearing those prostate cancer charity shirts all week long with pride. And he's in there for the first maximum of the match. And he's done it again. If he wins 4-0,
83.
he will have got a maximum almost at the last opportunity because, of course, with 182 you can leave double one. But you shouldn't, so I'm going to give him that one.
100.
What a time to produce your best leg of the night. This is bad news for Robert.
180.
With that maximum, he just
Martin,
asks
you
the
require
question.
82.
71 left. That leaves 32.
66. Robert, you require 98.
Does Robert get 2 darts at double 19? No. He gets 1 at double 12.
86.
And each time he's gone for the double,
Martin,
it just
you
seems to
require
have come up
16.
a little bit shy. Double 8 for Adams. And he has won by 4 legs to nil. And he is the first person through to the semi-finals. All is not lost, really, for Robert Thornton. Yes, he has lost that match by 4 legs to nil. But leg difference no longer matters. As you see, Robert having the better average. But it doesn't really matter. He is now in a straight shootout with Scott Marsh to see who will join Martin Adams in the next round in the semi-finals. We're going to take a short break, and when we return, it will be Chaz Barstow for the first time tonight against James Richardson, so stay with us. Welcome back to the finals here in week 1 of the Online Darts Live League. And it's welcome back to Chaz Barstow. Our first look at him this evening. The last of the players to get their first bow for the night. Richardson back at the oche, which he is starting to make his own.
Okay, first leg, it's Chaz to throw first. Game on.
But there is one thing in this game that sticks out more than anything else. And that is that Chaz Barstow has never beaten James Richardson on this oche. 4 attempts and 4 losses. Now, if he loses again, he will go into
45.
a 1-game shootout with Kevin Burness to get into the semi-finals. It'll be very similar to Group 1, where Martin Adams is already there. He's won his first 2 games tonight against Scott Marsh and Robert Thornton. Hence, Marsh and Thornton will play next, and the winner of the match will join
100.
Adams in the semi-final. So it's either Marsh or Thornton to play the winner
100.
of this group. And that will be Richardson if he wins this game. It couldn't possibly be that simple, could it?
100.
I don't expect it to be.
127.
Because Barstow's got himself a decent start here. Is he going to go for it, the bull?
87.
Sensibly not. A much better start here than what we've seen from Chaz in the last couple of nights.
100. Chaz, you require 40.
Double top then. Getting closer.
No score.
How did he hit that gap?
James, you require 156.
I didn't think there was a gap to hit. Richardson against the darts in this match.
60. Chaz, you require 40.
He's having to dodge more
James
shots
on
at
the
tops
first
that
leg,
don't
Chaz Barstow.
get missed this time. A really, really good start against an opponent that he has no joy against. And maybe, just maybe, he could cause pain for Richardson if he can find the 4 legs he needs. An excellent, excellent first leg here
Second
from
leg
Chaz.
is James to throw first.
And James taking his time
Game on.
to start this second leg. And will be brimming with confidence considering his first performance of the night, where he averaged over 108
97.
for the first time this week. It was a borderline faultless game between himself and Burness.
96.
But it has to be said about Barstow that in week 8 of Phase 1,
58.
he didn't play his best stuff in Group C. In fact, it was Group B because he played in the evening session. He found his way to the weekly finals, and then when he got there,
82.
he couldn't be touched. He was astounding that night.
96.
So he is noted as a Saturday night specialist. He has won 2 weekly titles. James
56.
has had 1. They are both 100% in winning a title on a Saturday night. So
91.
is Kevin Burness in this group.
James, you require
So that is going to
170.
change.
58.
And it might require something like a 160 to separate these two. They've both got massive finishes this week. A 170 for James.
60.
And the next best from Chaz Barstow. He got a 167 last night, which was a real peach. Surely a 12 for tops.
Game shown the second leg. James Richardson.
He just doesn't miss it. I've run out of superlatives when it comes to James Richardson and tops. It's that simple. Every single time he goes for it, he gets it hit. He's continuing what he did last night. And this streak of hitting double top with no visit
44.
error is like nothing I've ever seen before. You talk about the great double top hitters in history.
125.
Thornton, Wade, Anderson. The way that Richardson's hitting it here.
42.
This is legendary accuracy on the 40 bed. And considering the position of Barstow there, sitting on a ton.
180.
Makes it even better. First maximum of the match comes from James Richardson there.
120.
Is he starting to find that bulldozing form in the early to middle portion of the match? Is he going to confine Barstow to a fifth defeat in their head-to-head record?
$84. James, you require 96.
60 for double 18. Doesn't have to go double-double. And that's
56.
why he didn't. Does he miss it this time? He's more likely to hit it than miss it. And let me assure you, hitting double top is not an easy thing to do.
Require 40.
He's just making it look easy. Well, well, well.
Chaz, you require
He
74.
finally misses it at a visit. And Barstow has a chance to hold on the same double.
54.
Dragged low by a good half an inch.
James, you require 20.
So if double top doesn't work, can he make double 10 work?
No
Oh, he's
score.
hit it when he didn't need it.
Chaz, you require 20.
That's a great invitation to go 2-1 up. And he's missed as well. This very good game
No score.
is having its off leg.
James, you require 20.
As you were, gentlemen, as you were. Both on double 10 again. And he's hit the other bed again.
No score.
A different wrong bed this
Chaz,
time.
you require 20.
And Chaz, searching at the bottom of his box of tricks, may have found the doubles voodoo doll for James Richardson here. Because he has now gone in front. That is a hold of throw. So maybe we can just take a pause here and realise that Richardson can afford one bad leg. But he's going to have to rebound here. This is only best of 7.
Fourth leg, it's James to throw first. Game on.
Bit of a quizzical look there from James at the board, as if to say, what just happened?
140.
My average plummeted to below 80. I missed tops. I missed all sorts of other doubles.
123.
That wasn't in the script. Darts doesn't have a script.
100.
The amount of times that I hear you couldn't have scripted that. There's a lot of times I think, well, you could have.
99.
But there are some things you can't foretell. And that many misses at doubles in that third leg of the match.
140.
There's no way I would have scripted that.
93.
You have to say, though,
Require 121.
ruthless with a great response scoring-wise here.
$62.
You see, with that 25, the extra 5 on the end of that, instead of the single 20, in going for the leave of double 12, he is actively
59.
trying to leave double top. The 25 leaving the single and tops shot. He's back in familiar territory.
Game show on the fourth leg.
Familiar
James
territory
Richardson.
and a familiar result. He may have just had a little tiff with tops, but all is forgiven as this one goes to 2 legs all. And we're now into a best of 3 scenario to see who gets the
Fifth leg
points.
is Chaz to throw first.
2 points for
Game
the
on.
win, of course. Nothing for the loser. But it's a huge, huge best-of-3 scenario now for Richardson.
100.
Win 2 more legs out of 3. And you will have
95.
a semi-final. And if he wins that semi-final, he will be in Champions Week in Week 5. And we will have
42.
more action for you next week. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday and Saturday. Just the evening session on the Saturday, of course, the finals.
140.
We have 2 sessions on Thursday, 2 sessions on Friday, and daytime sessions on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, starting at 9:30 a.m.
140.
And I can now reveal that Group A in Week 2 will include the Queen of the Palace, Fallon Sherrick,
96.
Jared Cole, the #1 contender for the world title in modern amateur darts,
59.
Richard
Danger
North,
require
Scott Baker, the
170.
mod, Colin Osborne and Andy Jenkins. And it will be a change of commentator in the seat. It will be Chris Mason all the way through next week.
95. Danger require 160.
This one could get away from Chaz.
140.
He needs a bit more fortune now.
James, you require 75.
This is for a valuable break of throw to give himself the chance to serve it out in the 6th. Double top! Would have been left if he'd have hit the single.
35.
Don't be
Jazz, you
thinking
require
about tops
20.
before the single.
Game
And
shoulder
Barstow
fifth
is
leg,
now
Jazz
back
Barstow.
in front. What an incredible game this has been so far. So many different tributaries and little streams away from the main river that is this game. Who's going to win it? Can
Six-legged
Richardson
James
respond
to throw
again?
first. Game on. $60.
If indeed Barstow does win this match,
57.
and it goes down to the final game between Barstow and Burness, we will give you the permutations at the early point of that match.
60.
One of them could be, of course, if Barstow wins this match by 4 legs to 2 or 3,
55.
if he wins against Burness, then your qualifiers will be these 2 gentlemen, because Burness will have got no points.
58.
But if Burness wins that second game of his for the evening against Chaz, and Chaz wins this one, it means all 3 players will have 2 points.
100.
And they will be separated on leg difference and or legs won. We will stay on top of that scenario if and when it
140.
occurs.
$57.
It's been a quick fire game where the averages have now evened out at around 83 each. So it's a little bit different to what we saw from
97.
Richardson against Burness. Has to go to the 25.
59.
Decides not to.
You require
Decides to
86.
gamble, and it didn't pay off. Double 16. Hasn't been down here much the last couple of days.
54.
And if Chaz has hit a 25, he would have had a shot at 167. A checkout he has taken this week. So a tactical
44.
mistake from the Prince.
James, you require 32.
Yes, that's his nickname. Double 16 still.
24.
I get the feeling that he has struggled down in that corner because he hasn't been there the last couple of days. He hasn't had a great deal of practice. 16 bull for the match. Bullseye.
104.
I had a feeling that was going to go because the 60 was so central. Such a pure dart. Double 2. Last start, possibly.
4.
And somehow it misses.
Chaz, you require 25.
Barstow for the match. Double 10.
Game,
And it's
shot out
in.
the match.
James
Chaz
Richardson,
Barstow.
his win streak has come to an end at 11. So Kevin Burness's record remains at 13. But Chaz Barstow is now in the group. It's up to Burness to get a win in the last game. You see the stats there. They're not particularly brilliant. A very attritional game. But we will return as we see an eliminator in the next match between Marsh and Thornton. And the winner will go through after the break. Hello and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League Week 1 finals. We now have an eliminator in group number 1. Martin Adams has already made his way to the semi-finals. And he will play the very first semi-final against the runner-up in group 2. We will find out who that is
First leg, it's
after
Scott
the
to
next
throw
match.
first. Game on.
But this one is very simple. Whoever wins this match will play the second semi-final against the winner of Group 2.
42.
Because both of them have been defeated by Martin Adams this evening, which effectively makes this a knockout match. And if they want the weekly title,
45.
it's a knockout scenario from here. They have to win this, the semi-final, and the final. Winning the whole thing, of course, will bolster their confidence and put them at the top of the tree for the week. But in order to make it to Champions Week in Week 5, you've got to be in the semi-finals to start with.
40.
And if you're in the semi-finals and win there, you're guaranteed to be back in Week 5. If you lose
60.
in the semis, you'll still have one more chance in that third, fourth place playoff, which will precede the final. We have a very, very complicated scenario going on in Group 2 because we've had two 4-2 scorelines in that group so far for different players. If, for instance, Kevin Burness wins 4-2 against Charles Barstow in Game 6, well,
60.
They will have the same leg difference, the same points, and the same legs won. We'll have to go on averages to see who goes through. So we'll stay on top of that for you.
100.
But the standard in Group 1 with Adams, Thornton and Marsh has been very B-game standard. You can sense the anxiety and the nerves with these players.
100.
The standard has been higher in Group 2. Robert will not be
94.
pleased with the way he played in his first game, averaging 88. Didn't get a leg against Martin. 7 attempts at double and no hits.
60.
It's been a long week for Robert. He's played a lot of darts. A lot of darts. But he has to kick one more time. Double 12. Very, very good. And maybe, just maybe, at this point of the night, like last week, he started to kick forward a little bit. 84 check out, his first leg of the night, and a little bit of a grunt in celebration.
Second leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
He made his way to the finals 7 days ago in the Sporty Stuff TV Trophy.
100.
Lost the final to his good pal Richie Burnett, who had his number this week. That is a dart that has slipped out of Scott Marsh's hand. That's not the first time that's happened. Yesterday he had to change his darts
95.
because he had a mishap on Thursday where a proportion of his points snapped. So he had to go to a different set. The same weight, same construction, but
62.
when he goes to a different set, they just have a slightly different feel to them. It's hard to keep two sets of darts in exactly the same condition. As much as he would like to do that, it's impossible. Because every time a tungsten dart clatters with another one, it'll just lose a microscopic amount of weight.
97.
And over the course of time, they will whittle down in size and weight. Marsh going 19s first on 269. Correct. So he's got 212 left. Boy, is that good tactics. That is next level counting there. He really did think that out. And yesterday, when having a chat with Scott Marsh, he was
60.
Standing next to me watching Jose de Sousa play in the Premier League, and he said to me, I'm not that great a counter. Well, right there, he's proved otherwise. Bullseye if he wishes, but decides against it, and I think that's the right thing to do once again.
86.
Double top for Scott
Scott,
Marsh
you
after
require
12.
40.
A very, very impressive show of scoring. Plenty of room to the right.
Game shot on the second leg.
Saw
Scott
that flight
Marsh.
just twist a little bit, so he did flick it a little bit, and it gave it a tiny bit of resistance. But the good thing for Scott now is that he has levelled things up at 1-all. Best of 5 from here to see who progresses to the semi-finals.
Scott to throw first. Game on.
Yet again, the averages in that low 80s range, so we're not seeing the A game quite yet.
97.
They're all working hard, but maybe saving their best standard for a little bit later. That won't be on purpose.
85.
You'd be surprised how many dart players will hit the afterburners when they need to. Let's say Robert starts to hit it from here. Scott will probably follow.
140.
Live League personal best average came last year for Scott of 114. And that could have been better than that.
60.
Robert did not play in the Live League last year because he was a PDC professional. This year, he didn't get through Q school, so he was allowed to play with us.
100.
But Thornton's best average this week has been 98.56.
180.
And the man who has got
Scott,
more
you're
180s than
164.
anybody else this week has just got another. Treble 18. Decides not to do it. Okay, that's okay.
100.
Robert not on a finish. And I see the logic there. He was trying to get the 140 to lead double 12.
136.
Look at that in the background from Scott, as if to
Scott,
say,
requires 64.
I can't shake you off. Double 8.
Game shot.
Excellent shot from Scott Marsh. 15 darter gets him back in front at 2 legs to 1. And even though Robert Thornton went 136 and 180 to leave himself a shot, he didn't get it.
Fourth leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
Good game so far. The Thornton average has gone up to 91.
41.
The Marsh average up to 88. We did say it, didn't we, at the start of play? Marsh has not played his best darts this week. He's been finding a way. He's been getting enough chances and taking enough
81.
chances to progress. That's the mark of a good match player. Someone who is able to handle pressure. He's had 2 darts in this match that have not come out of his hand properly. That one is very good.
81.
The grip of Marsh is very much to the back of the barrel. And if he doesn't get the timing right of the dart, it does go in the board different to how he would
100.
like. It will go in a bit too upright. That's something we saw from him on Thursday, a little bit later on in the session. His preferred angle of entry is like that, quite flat.
43.
Another maximum from here, and Robert will be on tops.
140.
Saw his lips move there as if to say, come on, he's geeing himself up. But he's not vocalising that out of respect for his opponent. Well, has to go downstairs now.
99.
Robert has got 6 from here.
80.
We are starting to establish a pattern with this game. Double top.
40 scored, yes. 60.
He will be back for double 10. His average continues to climb. Bad, bad sign for the man from Kent in England.
95. Robert, you
I
require
think the last
20.
dart should have been at the 25. Double 5. 2 wired shots.
Game show on the
But
fourth
not a
leg,
third.
Robert Thornton.
That is the perfect way to use a guide just above double 5. And he's starting to deliver these darts with a little bit of purpose. Robert Thornton now 2-2 with Scott Marsh in this eliminator.
Fifth leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
If you don't win this match, you will not be in the Champions Group in week 5.
96.
If you win it, you still could. This format
100.
change of the finals, which we first sampled 7 days ago in the Sporty Stuffs TV Trophy, I think it's brilliant. It's really cutthroat, and that's what finals should be like.
96.
Don't have to have a great deal of games to figure out who deserves to go through.
140.
2 games each in the group phase of tonight is perfect, in my opinion. I love this format. $60 to leave 170.
139.
He has been holding his throw with real guile.
91.
They've both left the 170.
Scott, you require 170.
Two treble 20s and bull. There's one. I don't think that went in at the preferred angle, but that one did. Bullseye. Oh, what a shot from Scott Marsh. That really did hit the mark, didn't it? And just when you think Robert Thornton's coming back into the match, he comes up with the second 170 checkout of the week. He's 3-2 up and 1 away from the semis.
Sixth flag, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
Maybe he had to hit that.
42.
Because if he didn't, Robert might have done it himself. Hammer blow to the chances of Thornton making the semis. He's not going to give up. Look at him in the background. Silently geeing himself up.
78.
He's had a bad start to this leg. But he has not failed
123.
to hold his throw in this match. Back comes Marsh.
140.
Gets himself a 1 dart lead. The finish line is not far away, and it may be getting a little bit closer.
5.
Only 5 scored. And that first dart really did make things very hard to score on the 60. Maybe switching down to the 19s was the right thing to do, but Marsh finding something of note is again finding a way. He is 143 points away from eliminating Robert Thornton.
85. Scott, you require 143.
And he will go into semi-final number 2 to play the winner of Group 2. Marsh averaging 95 in this game. This is the best game he has played all week long.
60.
And with Robert not on a finish,
Scott,
he
you
has
require
6
99.
darts to put a flake in it. Might go treble 16. But I think from a
59.
tactics perspective, that was the right thing to do. Because 2 singles leaves a double. If you'd have gone 16s, 2 singles would have left a 2-darter.
81.
So this is what
Scott,
you
you
want
require
in this kind of
40.
game. 3 clean darts at a double. to finish the job. 4 legs to 2. That's
Game,
what he
shot
has
and the
done.
match.
Scott Marsh is in the
Marsh.
semi-finals, and Robert Thornton is out after 2 defeats, 1 to Marsh and 1 to Adams. So one of our semi-finalists has been confirmed earlier with Adams. He goes through with Scott Marsh. As for the next one, well, we don't know about the situation yet, but as the game progresses, we will let you know what happens with Barstow and Burness. That's coming after the break. Welcome back to our action here at the Week 1 finals in Phase 2 of the Online Darts Live League. And this Group 2, involving Chaz Barstow from Winchester, and the 55-year-old from Northern Ireland,
Game on.
Kevin Burness. It's intriguing, to say the least. It will be best of 7, like all of our matches. First to 4. And we have to keep an eye out all the way through this match to see who will potentially get through this group.
34.
so far tonight. Richardson of the James variety instead of the Josh variety, who of course we saw in Phase 1. Came through an encapsulating encounter with Kevin Burness in Match 2.
140.
But it was Richardson who was defeated by Chaz Barstow in match number 4. So if Kevin Burness wins this match,
140.
he might be in the semi-finals. It all comes down to whether he wins
80. Kevin, you require 120.
and by which margin. We're not going to have a great deal of time to figure it out because this is a quick game. 88. He's left 5.
119. Chaz, you require 147.
61st. Gets the 62nd.
130.
And he leaves the double that Kevin has just missed.
You require 5.
But he's wishing now he'd missed it on the outside. Double 2.
Game shot on the
First
leg.
blood
Kevin
to
Burness,
Burness, who comes up with a very sharp checkout of only 5 points. But that 14 darter maintains an average for the night of over 100. He's going to need it against Barstow here.
Chance to throw first. Game on.
Now, just to keep you aware of how these players can be separated.
40.
If Kevin Burness wins by 4 legs to 1 or 4 legs to 0,
100.
he will be through. He will have 2 points in this group, like Barstow and Richardson,
96.
but his leg difference will be better. If he wins by 4 legs to 3,
100.
or if he loses the match, he is out. If Barstow wins, it's fairly simple. Barstow will have won both of his games in the group, and he would play Scott Marsh in the second semi-final.
60.
Whoever finishes second in this group will play Martin Adams. He has won Group 1.
98.
It's all very complicated, and it will get even more complicated if Kevin Burness wins by 4 legs to 2, because
57.
Barstow won 4-2,
Require 120.
as did James Richardson in his win. So if they can't be separated by points, leg difference, or legs won, we will have to look at their accumulative average for the night to see who goes through.
40.
Let's cross that bridge when we come to it. But on throw, Barstow is on 80. But Burness has left himself on double 2 again. Don't miss Chaz.
60.
But he has, and Burness is getting the jump here.
Game shot on the second leg.
Keep
Kevin
leaving
Burness.
double 2 then. He didn't do it on purpose in leg 1, but I assure you, with the maximum, he did it on purpose in that second leg. So he's 2-0 up, and he's 2 legs away from potentially getting through.
Throw first. Game on.
If he wins by 4 legs to 1,
43.
his leg difference will be +1. Barstow's
99.
currently at +2 would actually come down to -1. Just to keep you updated with the running averages after 2 legs, Kevin is top. James is
96.
second at 92.21. He can do nothing about his average. That is going to stay the same. But the averages of Kevin and Chaz are changeable.
100.
The average for Kevin Burness in the first match, in losing to Richardson, of 101.16 is very much in his
96.
favour right now. Chaz's running average is 83.51. So, advantage Burness in more ways than one.
94.
Chaz is in trouble. These two are Saturday night specialists. The only
99.
two
Kevin, you
double
require 124.
weekly champions from Phase 1. This is how strong this group is. Bullseye for 3-0.
99. Chaz, you require 111.
You get the feeling this has to go. Tops.
91.
You can see the disgust on Chaz's face.
You require 25.
Because if this goes, it's all in Burness's hands. Double 8.
9.
Not there.
Chaz, you require 20.
Maybe he's just eaten his slice of fortune.
Game shown the
And he's
third
got
leg.
himself in
Chaz
this match.
Barstow.
It's now 2-1 to Burness. It couldn't possibly be 4-2, could it? But if it is, it looks like it could be Burness who goes through. The average is
It's
very
Chaz to
much
throw
better
first.
than Chaz's.
Game on.
I know it may seem harsh to separate them on their averages, but we've got to
65.
separate them somehow. They'd have won the same legs, lost the same legs, got the same
35.
points. I suppose the only other way we could separate them is if we had a one-leg playoff or something like that.
84.
Well, Kevin's average in this match is slightly under that of Chaz's so far, but only by about 0.9 of a point. That's not enough.
135.
Chaz is going to have to go a little bit bananas here. But of course, if he gets to a third leg, he's safe.
96.
If Chaz loses by 4 legs to 3, his leg difference
57.
can only go down to +1. And then Burness's would be -1. And then
58.
Barstow would win the group, and Richardson would be second. If that's all a little bit complicated to you, welcome to my brain.
44.
That's what makes this group so fascinating. When I
100.
saw they were all in the same group, I thought that this was possible. Because they're all capable. Extraordinary 140. Could have been
Treasure
just a
record,
tiny
98.
bit better. Treble 18. Double top.
78.
I didn't expect him to go double-double there,
You
but
require
I should have
90.
done my homework. Yes, Barstow was a bit of a maverick. I should have expected that. But the bullseye will give Burness a 3-1 lead. And it's in
Game
there.
shot
It's a
to
huge
Burness.
shot.
Kevin Burness.
3-1 up after missing at tops. Barstow had a chance to go to 2-2. Oh, what a game. And now Kevin Burness is 1 leg away
Fifth leg,
from
it's
making
Kevin
the
to throw
semi-finals.
first. Game on.
And based on the average bridge, I think he can still afford to lose
99.
1 leg. The running average for Barstow was 84.61. 98.06 for Kevin. I think the way things are going, he could win this leg or the next, and it would be enough.
85.
Imagine playing with
100.
all of these different things going on. Yesterday, Matthew Dennant thought he had to win 4-0 against Jamie Kelling. He didn't know that he
59.
could have won 4 legs to 1. Turns out he only won 4 legs to 3 anyway, and he didn't come through.
57.
So if you're just joining us, Barstow needs to win the next 2 legs to be safe.
44.
If he doesn't get them, he is gone. He's not going to be in Champions Week in week 5.
140.
That's better. Whoever finishes in second position in this group will stay on the board to play Martin Adams. 85 left. And Burness is now a 2-darter away from eliminating his opponent.
39.
And if he does this, he will top the group and play against Scott Marsh. Double top.
60.
Chance missed.
Jazzy requires 66.
To get a second leg, he needs double 18.
57.
And double 9 is missed. That was a great chance to keep this
20.
alive. But Burness will think that this is the chance to put him out. And he hasn't done it.
Chaz, you require 9.
I can't take the drama.
No score.
Well. What happened there? Did he take for granted that the one was going to be hit? That was a wild shot. And he can't believe it. 244. And Kevin Burness has missed again.
Jazz, you require 9.
This time he gets the 1.
Game
And he
shot
gets the
fifth
double
leg.
4 as well.
Jazz
He is
Barstow.
still alive. How is he still in this event? Incredible that all of those darts have been missed by Burness. And now, if Barstow can find one more leg, he will be safe.
6th leg, it's Chaz to throw first. Game on.
And he's going for it. What a time to find a max.
180.
His first of the game.
59.
If Kevin Burness wins this leg, he will go through. Because his average is so
100.
much better than Chaz's over the course of the night. But with this start from Barstow of a maximum and a
100.
ton, he is on the verge of eliminating Kevin Burness from
93.
the possibility of making the finals for the champions in week 5. Unbelievable drama.
59. Chaz, you require 120.
And he's got a bucket full of darts to do it as well. I think Burness may be in shock.
56.
He missed tops. He missed 10s. He missed 5s on multiple occasions.
60.
And I
Chaz,
think
you
the
require
game might be up.
72.
63 left. They're both feeling the pressure here. I think Barstow might know that this is to progress. Double 12. And it's job
Stage
done.
on the 6th
Kevin
leg.
Burness is
Chaz
out.
Barstow.
This match is not finished yet. We're going to find out who gets the 2 points. But by leg difference, Chaz Barstow is now in the semi-finals with James Richardson from Group 2.
7th and final leg, it's Kevin to throw first. Game on.
And because
41.
Barstow has 2 points and can only go, at the very worst case, to +1 in leg difference,
93.
he wins this group. He will play in the second semi-final against Scott Marsh, which means that Martin Adams is
81.
going to play James Richardson in the next game. I'm going to need a few seconds for my heart rate to come down after
140.
this game. It's been astonishing. And after an almost invincible week,
180.
Kevin Burness is going to have a lot to think about. After a 13-match winning streak, a 117
45.
personal best average, so many more highlights, but ultimately, He hasn't made it.
59.
Now it's a question of who will. We will have to whittle down 4 players to 3.
57. Kevin, you require 140.
He has 6 darts from a finish now. And we will take a bit of a break to reset all the scorers and put all the fixtures up online when this one is finished. I think everybody watching on will need to maybe go and get a nice calming cup of tea.
84. Kevin, you require 99.
The final leg of his week will belong to him. If he finds double 16. And he has found it. A wonderful shot, but no big celebration from Kevin Burness because he knows his fate. Chaz Barstow wins Group 2. Richardson finishes in second. They're through to the semi-finals. There you see the attritional nature of that match at times. But Burness has had a great week. It's goodbye to him. But Chaz Barstow is very much alive to make Champions Week. Come back to us in a few moments' time when we will bring you the semi-finals, starting with Martin Adams against James Richardson. It'll be after the break. here at the Online Darts Live League. Thank you for joining us here on Sporty Stuff TV and via the Online Darts YouTube channel. It's been a dramatic evening so far, and it could get more dramatic from here. 4 players remain in Week 1 of Phase 2. 4 will become 3. Who will go through to Champions Week in Week 5? We have the winner of Group 1 here from tonight, Martin Adams. And the runner-up from Group 2 in James Richardson, who maybe was sweating a bit after that match between Kevin Burness and Chaz Barstow, which has seen Chaz go through and the very dangerous Burness go out.
Okay, first leg, it's Martin to throw first. Game on.
Martin has got the throw. So in this best of 7 encounter, it's very, very simple.
140.
Which is good for my brain, considering the permutations of the last one. And indeed, one of our producers who is in charge of the statistics, he was the one that was keeping me up to date with all of the averages in case it was 4-2 to Burness in the last match, which is how we would have separated the two had it been that result. So in this game, it's simple. Whoever wins is through to tonight's final and is safe for Champions Week. Now, Champions Week will be in Week 5. We have 3 more qualifying weeks to come straight after this, starting on Monday. So when Week 5 is around, it will be people who have qualified only.
$125.
Having said that, if you lose this match, all is not lost. There is a 3rd, 4th place playoff.
180.
And Richardson has got himself back in the leg with that maximum. Very prolific in that department this week. Treble 17 would have left tops for Wolfie.
74 left. 91. James, you require 136.
He's just hit 2 treble 20s, followed by a 3rd.
$58. Martin, you require 60.
Single 20 for tops. To stop James from getting a try to break his throw. Double 10.
50.
I think what's really interesting in this match
James, you
is
require
that James
78.
didn't know who he was playing or whether he was playing at all. Maybe about 15 minutes ago. Not a great deal of preparation time.
54.
And that wire double 12
Martin,
hands the
you
advantage
require
in leg
10.
1 back to Wolfie.
Game
An
shot on the
advantage which
first
he
leg.
takes.
Martin Adams.
A really good kill from Martin to get the first leg in this contest. I mentioned earlier his ability to win short format matches. This is just the same, and he's growing in confidence.
Second leg, it's James to throw first. Game on.
They played 3 times this week.
100.
2 of them won by Richardson. He's won the last 2 by 4 legs to 1 and 4 legs to 2. It was a narrow win for Martin against Richardson on Monday.
180.
That was the curtain raiser to Phase 2, the very first game of Monday's action, and that set the standard. And this one is going to have plenty of standard. Sit back and enjoy this one. This could be one of the best games we've seen this week. We have passed the midnight hour
60.
here in the UK. And wherever you are tuning in, we hope you're enjoying it. For everybody in the UK joining us at this very early hour on
57.
Sunday, good morning, night owls. There's a very famous DJ from when I was growing up in the northeast of England
41.
called Alan Robson.
James, you require 160.
And he was in charge of a radio show called the Night Owls. And he used to say, "Get to those phones," because it was a call-in show.
86.
Well, in relation to this game, get to those doubles. And look what Martin's doing. Get to those doubles, Martin.
180. James, you require 78.
Very similar to the last leg. James has got 78 again, but a different finishing target.
58.
And he fails to hit tops from the left-hand
Martin, you
side.
require
And
40.
Adams is starting to howl. Double five once again.
30.
This time it is not kind.
James, you require 20.
He's starting to miss more doubles than at any point since the beginning of the week, James Richardson. And he's
10.
missed 3 more.
Martin, you require 10.
Can he find double five?
Game shown the
There's your
second
answer.
leg. Martin Adams.
And there's the reaction. It's one of, I've just found it, but I don't think I deserved that chance. Well, you deserve everything you get when you've been playing top-level darts for 30 years, but
Third
he's
leg,
still
it's
working
Martin
hard
to
at
throw
2-0 up.
first. Game on.
Lots to go through the mind of Richardson here.
100.
He's going to have to find a response. This is ideal.
180.
Testing the vocal cords of our referee. Big respect to our referee this week, Owen Binks,
78.
who by the end of tonight will have refereed 105 games this week. We will have a new referee for you next week, as Owen
100.
gives his vocal cords a bit of a break, as will I. You'll have a new commentator in the chair. That'll be Chris Mason. And the referee for the week will be Charlie Corstefine. A nice return to refereeing action for Charlie.
45.
And of course, some new players for you too. All familiar faces. Sherrick, Cole, North, Baker, Osborne and Jenkins on Monday. Tuesday and Wednesday.
100.
Thursday and Friday, you will be joined by the likes of Josh McCarthy, Mike Gillett. Stephen Burton returns, as does Rob Collins, Jason Askew, who you saw last Saturday night at the Curtain Raiser.
47.
And Joe Davis of Brighton
James, you require 121.
will come back as well. There's the one. 80 more required to leave his double of choice. This should be some dart, the last one.
41.
But it doesn't find the target. And if Adams can find another maximum at the back end of a leg, I think he would have made me shake my head as if to say, how do you do this, Martin? How do you do this?
55. James, you require 80.
James will probably look at tops. Somewhat cagey effort at 2 double tops. This one's got to be thrown high and hard.
40.
It was high. It was hard. It was too hard. And it was to the left. One, 3-6 coming in. And if Richardson keeps missing doubles,
36.
Wolfie is going to gobble him
James,
up.
you require 40.
This has been very un-James-like.
Game shot on the
But
third
he
leg.
finally
James
finds a double
Richardson.
top. And he's very much in this semi-final now at just 1 leg behind. But Wolfie still has the impetus at 2-1 up.
Fourth leg, it's James to throw first.
Just to make James feel a little bit better.
Game on.
He's taking a sip of water there. A very, very important thing to do. to keep your mind clear. Stay hydrated.
95.
But when he turned around, it was as if to say, oh yeah, that was a breaker throw.
$95.
Martin Adams, of course, not the only dart player that has been touched by prostate cancer. Former world champion Dennis Priestley, of course,
59.
also suffered with that. That charity is very close to the hearts of a lot of people within the darting family. That's why Martin sports those charity shirts with such pride. And another maximum for Martin. That is his third maximum in this match. That is the 6th in total. 3 for James and 3 for Martin now. Great maximum shooting. This, of course, is a darts tournament. If you went to Canada, they'd call it a shoot. I've visited that beautiful country many times. And if someone comes up to you and says, where are you shooting this weekend? It means, which tournament are you going to? Doesn't have to go bull, but he's going to have a crack at it anyway.
101.
Ooh, feeling a bit frisky tonight, Wolfie. As to whether that is going to have a bearing on whether he wins this leg, I'm not sure it will.
Martin, you require 25.
Doesn't look too bothered, does he? 3-1 and a break straight back if he finds double 8.
Game shot.
That is what he finds, and he is now 1 leg away from a place in Champions Week and a place, of course, in tonight's final, where he will play against possibly Chaz Barstow, the ultimate getter-outerer of everybody in the groups we've had this week.
Game on.
Yes, I might have just made that saying up. What would Chaz Barstow have done if he'd have brought his A game this week?
60.
But it could be Scott Marsh. 2 very similar players in the next semi-final. Both haven't played their best darts this week, but have found a way to get through to the elimination phase. When all is said and done tonight, we will grab a word with our champion as well.
140.
Who will that champion be? As each exchange continues,
43.
It's increasingly likely it might be Adams. At this stage, I think Richardson may be banking on winning the 3rd place playoff. If he does not come through and is eliminated tonight, he will feel
100.
very, very disappointed after going 11 straight games without a defeat. His first loss to Chaz Barstow in the Online Darts Live League came in his 2nd match tonight. And as a result of that loss, he's on the verge of a 2nd loss in a row, starting a new streak.
$55.
It's not the finish that Martin wanted, but it's a finish all the same.
99.
It's more difficult than James's finish.
46.
And now he has to go downstairs. That bed is blocked.
60. James, you require 120.
I think their switch to the 19s was the more prudent shot there. But Richardson hanging on here. We'll have to try and find the top left corner of that 60 from the left-hand side now. He's out of shot. And throwing from maybe 8 feet. It's short. There's confirmation.
100.
That one's in. Where did that one come in
Martin,
from?
you require
I think that was from a
86.
different postcode. Does it matter? It might now. Surely he's got to go treble 14. I don't understand.
46.
The treble
James,
14
you
is a bigger
require
target than the
20.
bullseye. All the same, it's Richardson on double 10.
Game
And it's
shot on
good
the fifth
enough
leg.
to stay
James
in
Richardson.
the match. The most important thing for James so far in this game is the fact that Martin Adams has not been able to cultivate a match start for himself. He's got close,
Sixth
but
leg,
not
it's
close
James
enough.
to throw first. Game on.
He was dicing with tournament death there, James Richardson. I'm sure that even at 12:30 in the morning, his wife Carolyn will be watching.
81.
Maybe his son Josh, and indeed some of his best friends.
58.
Don't worry, guys, he'll be home later today. But will he be home with a guaranteed ticket to week 5? Superb.
180.
A fourth. He now leads the match in the 180 stats. And you may have had a little punt on that before this match began. But if you went for Adams,
41.
I get the feeling he might have been the outsider for that. His 180 ratio was slightly less than Martin's. James before. Actually, it was slightly more than Martin's before this night began. And based on form, a lot of you might have fancied James to get the most 180s. Well, it's not going to happen. Unless, of course, James gets another to leave 32, which would be the ideal shot.
100.
Firmly in the hands of Wolfie now. He is 40 points away from a place in Champions Week. And a place in the final.
100.
A final circle of the shoulder to free up that throwing arm. And he's in the final. A really good performance. A steady average of around about the 90 mark. And he gets his first win against James Richardson in 3. They've had plenty of battles this week, but that was the most important of the lot. Wolfie, via that 90 averages in the finals week, he's also in the final tonight. James Richardson returns in a couple of games' time to see if he can take his last chance into that finals week in week 5. We'll be back after the break as we see the next eliminator between Chaz Barstow and Scott Marsh. morning and welcome back. We have 3 matches remaining for this evening's Online Darts Live League. And this one is the second semi-final between Scott Marsh and Chaz Barstow. Whoever wins it will join Martin Adams in Champions Week. But we'll still have one more match to play to see who wins the weekly title.
140.
We only have weekly winners left. 5 of the 6 players this evening had already won weekly titles in Phase 1.
100.
The form continues. But with Kevin Burness out, it is up to this man to be alone at the top of the weekly standings for a 3rd time. Burness got 2 titles in Phase 1. So did Barstow. If he gets a 3rd, he will embellish his reputation as one of the best players outside of the tour cards in the PDC.
95.
He's left 170 in the first leg in no time at all. But he has one big problem in this match.
45.
And that's his record against Scott Marsh.
170.
He's been defeated by Scott twice in the last 2 nights.
59.
But he started with more of a purpose here. He lost 4 legs to 0 on Thursday in the first game of Group B. Maybe Scott caught Chaz a little cold.
99.
It was the last match of last night, so no excuse there for Chaz. But it was still 4-2, tops.
Game show in the first leg.
Is anything but cold. A 15-darter starts this contest off, and when he gets it right, and when he figures out what's gone wrong, Chaz Barstow is very hard to stop. 1-0 to him.
Second leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
Just like the other semi-final, all is not lost. If you lose your semi-final, you still have that
96.
3rd, 4th place playoff to come. And we can now confirm that if you lose this match, you will play James Richardson.
60.
Not an easy proposition, but James's performance level did drop in that semi. He only averaged 85. And the 2 finalists tonight, one of them Martin Adams,
58.
they will relax and play for the weekly title. But they'll both be safe.
100.
And will play after the 3rd place playoff. That will come first. So whoever loses this game has to remain on the board.
81.
So it's the opposite of that old game they used to say, see down the local. Winner stays on. It's actually loser stays on here.
121.
I've had a tweet from James Richardson's other half saying that she's nervously watching on at home. Sometimes it's more nerve-wracking to watch than play. Barstow, who started strongly, is starting to falter just a little bit.
22.
He was dreaming of a 180 there to leave tops, and he came up with something a lot less than that. That's the 2nd time in this leg that a dart has slipped out of Scott's hand. That's happened 4 times tonight. He's going to have to figure that out.
59.
Does Barstow smell weakness? Should go 18s here.
100. Scott, you require
in my opinion.
108.
But if he'd got the 140, he would have been on a better 2-darter than if he'd got treble 18. So there is a lot of method in staying on that bed there. Shanghai on 18s with a bumper.
90.
Caught the wrong side of the barrel.
Chaz, you require 98.
Double 19.
Game
and Barstow hits it.
2-0
up. and looking to get his first win against Scott Marsh this week. He is halfway there, and if he maintains the accuracy on the outer ring that Scott Marsh has not shown yet, he'll get safe.
First. Game on. $97.
I'm starting to think that this week Chaz Barstow's favourite chocolate bar is a finger of fudge, because he's doing just about enough. And he's looking to give himself a treat by the end of the night.
$81.
He's had a change of flights between his last match and this one. Maybe the other ones just weren't working and he needed a fresh set, but they've got a little bit of a different colour about them as well. He doesn't tend to use the same colour every single game.
180.
Oh, he gives it the old celebration there, does Marshy. If he was in Australia, he'd be called Marshaw.
54.
I'm sure there are people tuning in from Australia. We have had some viewers from the States, all over Europe.
100.
People who are missing their Premier League darts action have been also tuning into this to get their daily fix of darts. Good choice. But we're all taking a day off tomorrow before we come back on Monday, where action will return. This is good. Just keep high. Very good. We've seen a 170 tonight from Scott Marsh. And he hit that
134
when his opponent was on 170 and Robert Thornton.
40.
For 13 darter, he needs tops.
Game shot on the third leg.
Very good
Scott
indeed.
Marsh.
And with the flat lie of that first start, I was questioning whether it was in the way. Well, he answered the question because he found it. And a 14 darter gets him within one of Chaz. Chaz still with the advantage at 2-1 up.
Scott to throw first.
But the break back
Game on.
just gives him hope. These two were the first two weekly winners
93
of Phase 1 when we started the 2021 Online Darts Live League. Marsh won week 1. Barstow won week 2.
100.
And they took it to the limit as well in those Saturday night performances. Marsh won on leg difference over Martin Adams. Chaz Barstow had to beat Robert Thornton in the last match of the night to get the weekly title, and he did just that. And then Barstow
96.
dominated the finals night of week 8, where he was in a class of his own.
$140.
Good stuff from Scott Marsh. 3 trebles required to get to a finish.
134.
He only gets the 2 and winds up 1 short. Somewhat fashionable these days for male dart players to put the name of their children on the dart shirt.
59.
Scott Marsh has got his kids' names on the front of his dart shirt as well. It's quite a nice touch.
81. Scott, you require 124.
Can he find this to stop Barstow from breaking straight back and taking a 3-1 lead? No, he can't.
92.
That's a great last one, though.
Chaz, you require 90.
2 single 20s for the bullseye. Double 5.
Game shot on the
Extraordinary
fourth leg.
talent
Chaz
from
Barstow.
Barstow at times. He is not playing his best darts this week. But like I said at the beginning of the leg, he's doing just about enough. And at 3-1, he will have plenty of opportunities to make the final.
Game on.
And for the first time tonight, he showed genuine emotion
121.
And sometimes you need that burst of adrenaline. That little bit of volume. Just gets the blood pumping and makes you want it just a little bit more. I think it suits him. He will get invites to PDC events this year,
45.
being the first person outside of the Tour Card qualifier back in January. I would love to see him make the World Championship,
140.
because I believe that Chas Barstow would cause lots of problems for a lot of players. He already has this season.
51.
But after the better start in the first 3 darts of this leg, he's let it slip a little bit. He's still got a half dart advantage. I don't think he's made it with the second dart.
100.
He's got there with the third. This is where you want to do the Adams and stick in the 180.
45.
But his last 9 darts have not been good. He has scored 141 with 9 darts. And I think he's trying to figure out why.
$100.
It's a good solid ton. Barstow changes the target
135.
with great effect. And now,
Scott,
if
you
Marsh
require
doesn't hit this,
110.
Barstow will have his first attempt to make the final, to be in Champions Week as well. And because Marsh is not going to hit it, Barstow is 104 points away from giving him the opportunity to stay on the board to play James Richardson.
40. Chaz, you require 104.
Can he get a shot at double? No.
56. Scott, you require 70.
It's Scott Marsh's turn to rue a bad visit. From 110, he could only score 40. Now he's forced to go 16 bull. Just gets the 16. Gets the bull as well. And I am not surprised that he got the bullseye, because as a soft tip specialist, he is used to hitting bullseyes. And that was at the edge of the cliff stuff. He is still alive in this match at 3-2 down.
Get Scott to throw first. Game
What's that towel done to you, Scott? Just giving it a proper headbutt. The more you watch a player, the more you learn about what they do to motivate themselves. Well, obviously,
91.
headbutting a towel is one of Scott's things. And maybe he wants to beat Chaz for a third time,
140.
because if he doesn't, he'll have to play Richardson, who he has not beaten this week. Maybe he thinks he's got a better chance of winning 3 straight legs against this guy than winning 4 in 7 against
100.
his next prospective opponent. Everything that Barstow has been involved in tonight has been dramatic. Some dart players come and go, and you think, yeah, I remember them. Some dart players turn up eventually
100.
and they have this knack for drama. Barstow is one of those players. His story is very far from written.
84.
I said yesterday that I was actually quite glad he didn't get through Q School, because it's given me the opportunity to really learn about his game here. Match average of 93. 87 for Marsh. Decent stuff.
140.
And Marsh is hanging on.
140. 100.
And if he can find a 70 checkout,
Scott, you require 70.
again. Last time it was on the bull. This time it should be at the outer ring. At tops.
50.
This time he misses and Barstow's already there to win
Chance require
4-2
40.
to set up a final with Martin Adams. That's
And
what he's
shut
done.
down the match.
He's through to
Bless
Champions Week.
Barstow.
And the man who has just been doing about enough is in Week 5 with Martin Adams. So 2 places have now been sealed. Scott Marsh will stay on the board and he will play against James Richardson in the 3rd place playoff. When that comes up very shortly, you can see that Barstow deserved the victory with the better stats on the doubles and the average. But after the break, it will be Marsh and Richardson to see who goes through. One of them is going home after this. Welcome back to our action here at the Online Darts Live League. And it's time to find out who's going home and who is going to Week 5. Week 5 is Champions Week. And we've said all along that 3 players will progress to that week. We will fill those spots over the course of the next 3 weeks and this game. Because Martin Adams and Chaz Barstow, who will contest tonight's final, they're both safe.
60.
And I think it's fair to say that the right 2 people are in the final, because they have just found enough at the right times.
140.
But Martin Adams is the only undefeated player tonight. Scott Marsh lost
60.
to Wolfie in game 1. Then he beat Robert Thornton by 4-2 to get into the semi-final. But then he lost that one to Chaz a matter of moments ago. As for James, it started so well.
31.
Top average of the night, the best performance by quite some way. Averaging 108.83. 80% on doubles, making the game look simple. But then the loss to Barstow by 4-2. And he had to sweat it out to see if he was in the semis. He did make it safely.
100.
But a 4-2 loss to Wolfie. And he's now involved in this one-off match to see if he will be back
81.
in week number 5.
Scott, you require 130.
Stronger start has come from Marsh. And decides not to go 20 in
90.
bull.
James, you require 160.
Is he trying to psych Richardson out early? If that was his ploy,
100.
it may have worked.
Scott, you require 40.
He doesn't want to let this chance go, does he? Looks like a man on a mission.
30.
But that one collided with the other dart, and it was colliding too much.
James, you require 60.
Looking for a glance, and he got a thud. Double top. And Richardson holds. You see the first little gritting of the teeth there from JR. Nope, he's not going to get shot. JR is looking to survive as he goes into leg 2, 1-0 up.
Scott to throw first. Game on. $97.
In county terms, it is Northamptonshire versus Kent.
140.
Based on that first visit of that leg, you just get the feeling that James is ready to ramp up the pace.
85.
When he does that, it's a good sign. It means he's comfortable. Not just in throwing the dart, but retrieving the dart from his left hand with pace.
60.
I think it's a skill that a dart player has that is very much not given any credit. Earlier in the week, I likened it to basketball players dribbling without looking at the ball. Just knowing where the ball is. Look at dart players constantly eyeing up the board and not looking at retrieving the dart. They know where it is. And they're able to put it in their hand
60.
By feel alone. We've just had word from the practice room that Chaz Barstow has won the bull for the final. So he will throw in the odd-numbered legs. The bullseye was won by Richardson for this eliminator.
96.
And he throws in the odd-numbered legs. It could be
Scott,
key.
you require 99.
Not for the first time tonight. He is looking to add a flake to an ice cream. Get the cherry sauce out.
59.
Bit late for an ice
James, you
cream
require
anyway.
145.
This is the MVG finish. 45 and tops. Simply because that is the shot that Michael van Gerwen hit to win his
85.
first World Grand Prix.
Scott, you require 40.
Double top to
Game
level things
shoulder,
up, and that's
second
what he
leg.
does.
Scott Marsh.
I think he's starting to exude a little bit of confidence there. He's given it the football celebrations. Maybe he's a Chelsea fan because they won the Champions League last night. Is he going to win way through to week 5? I have no idea who Scott Marsh supports in football, so I'm just being a bit speculative.
96.
I don't actually know who James supports either. But he's not that far from Northampton, so it could be Northampton town. But the place where he lives, Rushton, they've got their own football team, Rushton and Diamonds, one of the best names of a football club ever.
180.
Back in the maximum column he comes, and that is his first of what could be 2 in this leg. Looking to leave 45
131.
after 9 darts here. He could do it as well.
64.
Always been renowned as a big 180 hitter, James. Not just on the floor.
180.
But on the stage,
James, you require
where he
161.
famously took out Raymond van Barneveld once at the World Championship. That game wasn't even close.
62.
But he's
Scott,
in
you
a bit of bother
require
here.
50.
Marsh has all of a sudden starting to hit everything. Double top. Double 10.
Game
And
show
he's
the
in there.
leg.
You
Scott
can see how
Marsh.
much he wants it now. We are getting to the point where if you don't hit, your opponent is going to punish. It's now 2-1 to Marsh after he lost the first leg. He's now the favourite.
Fourth leg, it's Scott to throw first. Game on.
I'm reliably informed that James Richardson is an Ipswich Town fan. And one of the best parts about the fact that the football season is now over
100.
is that my Twitter feed is not going to be completely full of Kevin Painter and Ryan Meikle tweets about Ipswich. He's not going to give up that easily though, is he?
180.
Second 180 for him in the match. A third in total for both of them. This one has got potential. Marsh,
41.
so far having his best performance of the week, averaging 103. And we know that James can live with that kind of standard
57.
because earlier tonight he defied a 101 from Burness to win by 4 legs to 2. But Richardson is not playing at the same level right now than he was earlier tonight, or indeed for the last couple of nights. He needs to rediscover that in a matter of seconds.
100.
If he doesn't, he's in real jeopardy of not being in finals week. And based on the way he's played this week, that would be a surprise. We've already lost Kevin Burness, who was 13 for 13 in matches
40.
coming into tonight.
James, you require
He didn't even get through the group.
164.
The next best streak from this week,
133.
11 from Richardson.
Scott, you require 160.
Wasn't able to break the record of Burness. But to lose him would be borderline unfathomable. But Marsh
100.
and Barstow, they've just been
James, you require 31.
plodding on, doing enough. Double 12. He's very
Game
much
shot on the
in
fourth
this
leg.
match.
James Richardson.
We're down to a best of 3 scenario. It's 2-2. And this one keeps flip-flopping around. A bit like a Newton's cradle. It's going backwards and forwards.
Leg, it's James to
What's
throw
going to
first.
happen next?
Game on.
Plenty of Richardson fans tuning in tonight, I'm sure. Or indeed, this morning,
85.
because it's just after 1 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. And if he has got some of his fans tuning in, they are very, very devoted fans. Got to be a 180. Had to be. The lie was too good.
180.
It didn't even have to be a perfect dart. He could have underpitched that one and it would have snuck in.
41.
That's the 4th maximum of this match. In the county of Northamptonshire, I can hear the sound of fingernails being
31.
bitten right now. James promised me that if he made finals week, in week 5 for the champions, he would bring his modern amateur darts belt and prop it on the table in every game he plays.
$60.
If things keep going this way on Scott's throat, on James's throat, the belt is going to be staying in
60.
Rushton.
Scott, you require 130.
6 darts from here. And every time we come to James's throw, Scott seems to lift his level.
94.
And he's done it again. Leaving a double after 12. He's maintaining this 103 average, which I think has shocked James a little bit, because he has not been
Scott,
anywhere
you require
close to
36.
this level all week. Double 18.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
Brilliant
Scott
leg
Marsh.
from Scott Marsh, who was sailing with confidence. But can he do it on his own throw now? And if he can, he is going to be safe into Champions Week and will eliminate a
6th leg,
great contender
Scott
in
to
the
throw
process.
first. Game on.
Two for 2. That's what Richardson requires.
97.
And with the way that Scott has performed in this game, he is going to need a mistake.
60.
Too often throughout this and the last couple of matches he's played, he started to hit the single 20 more than the treble. The exact opposite for Marsh.
125.
It's a difficult thing to do. You win your first game, you're flying. But then you lose. A lot of dart players
41.
really struggle with loss. And if you have to come back and play again, it's really, really difficult to play in this format. Especially when your opponent is finding his best game of the entire week against you.
68.
Who's your money on to win the final? Barstow or Adams? It could be a blockbuster.
140.
If James had hit that 180 there, that would have been a worldy 180. To really pressurise Scott's potential to win this match 4-2.
60.
And he comes up trebleless. Another 140 would be very handy here.
83.
And not getting the ton
Scott, you require
means it's now 6 darts from here. That last dart from Richardson was a blessed dart for Marsh. Might go treble 18 now.
57.
Decided to go back to the 60, the blocked bed. I'm not sure that was the right thing to do. Pressure right there. Now Scott.
Scott, you require 94.
Can you do it? He gets the bullseye first. He gets one shot at tops. And he's through. A beautiful conversion from Scott Marsh. And he has eliminated James Richardson from the possibility of making Champions Week from week 1. A really good performance, as you can see, 98.97. And he saved his best for last. That was his best average by quite some way this week. So James Richardson has a lot to think about. But Marsh, we will see you in Champions Week. We will also see Barstow and Adams in Champions Week. But who wins the weekly title? You'll find out after the break. Good morning and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League with our 3 competitors from 6 this evening, now safe into Champions Week in Week 5. We now have to crown a weekly winner in the final here on Sunday morning. Owen Binks will referee our 105th match of the week as we bring to a close week 1 of phase 2.
Okay, first leg, it's Chaz to throw first.
Barstow, who won the
Game
bullseye
on.
in the practice room a matter of moments ago, will throw first here against the legend that is Martin Adams,
96.
who is the only person this evening to be undefeated. Beat Scott Marsh by 4 legs to 3, and he's just put in an excellent
60.
performance in beating James Richardson and in eliminating him in the process. So commiserations to James.
96.
But Adams is going for his second weekly win after winning week 7 in phase 1. Barstow looking to become
60.
the first person to get 3 weekly titles. Won week 2 and 8.
54.
Can't say it's a surprise that he has done such a thing. Maybe this week, because of the 3 weeks he's played, this is where he's played his worst darts, but still found enough to do to get through to a
95.
final. Six scored.
26.
Make that 26. I wouldn't be surprised at points in this final if we see a few small misses. Both of these players knew that this was a possibility, that they would be playing at this hour.
100.
This is where you have to be really smart during the day on Saturday and get as late a nap as possible to
43.
make sure that you're alert for this possibility. The things that dart players do to make sure that they're focused and rested. Other players in other sports do it too.
100.
It's not just about waking up in the morning and waiting for your tea time or waiting for your toe the hockey time. You have to do what's necessary.
130.
What's necessary
Martin,
here
you require 86.
for an early break of throw to negate that bullseye win in the practice room is Martin Adams needing 32.
Game shot on the first leg. Martin Adams.
Very tidy. 17 darter gets him the first leg of this contest, and Chaz in early trouble against the legend that has won multiple World Masters and multiple world titles at the Lakeside.
Second leg, it's Martin to throw first. Game on.
How much fun has it been watching Martin this week? He worked so hard to come
70.
through Group A. And yes, he needed a slice of luck in the last game to make sure he got
41.
the Group A win. But now he has the chance to make it all worth it. We were saying earlier on tonight in the preview show that maybe winning Group A and having
68.
yesterday and Thursday off would play into Wolfie's hands. He'd have the nice mix of rest and of practice this week. Well,
58.
it has proven to be the case. So far, anyway.
$135.
I don't think these two have met before. They definitely haven't met in the Online Darts Live League.
79.
So this is a new experience for Chaz, playing against Wolfie. And I can say from experience that the first time I ever played Martin, I felt a tiny bit intimidated.
95.
There are certain people within this game that have a presence.
81. Martin, you require 100.
Martin definitely has that. But Chaz is starting to cultivate his own presence. Look at Martin. Just inching towards the finishing line here in leg 2.
170.
Doing a really good job. And this is not explosive. This is just really steady. First leg was 17.
70.
This one
Martin, you require
could be the
16.
same if he gets it in 2.
Game
That's
shown
what he
second
does.
leg.
17
Martin
darts is
Adams.
around about an 88 average, nearly an 89. So he's doing what is required. Breaking the throw, backing it up, and now he just has to
Third leg,
repeat
it's
that
Chaz to
trick,
throw first.
and he could win 4-0.
Game on.
Unless Chaz finds another level. Maybe the adrenaline has left Barstow's body after making this final
58.
and knowing that he's going to be in Champions Week. His motivation should be to try and get that third weekly title. He hasn't graced the Saturday night / Sunday morning and not won the weekly title. This is a slightly different format, of course.
83.
The 2 titles that he did win were 4 matches, no semi-finals and final. It was just round-robin format with 4 other players.
60.
So this is a little bit different. But still, he surely wants to get that third weekly title. And with Burness eliminated earlier today, he would put himself at the top of the tree as maybe the strongest
100.
player to be playing here this year. I'm not going to lie. Before this year started,
140.
I didn't know anything about Chaz Barstow. Now I know a little bit more, and I love what I see. I love watching him play. I know it's probably easy for me to say that sitting here right now.
100.
And you think,
As you
is he
require
telling the truth?
160.
Trust me, I am. Another.
100.
Some players are just a good
Martin,
watch.
you require
I
101.
know that Martin is. He's not the fastest of players, but that makes absolutely no difference. Chaz can't watch because he could be 3-0 down.
69. Chaz, you require 60.
Can he find tops?
Game shot in
You
the
bet he
third
can.
leg. Chaz Barstow.
17 darter. What a surprise. That's all we get here. 51 darts delivered, 4 legs, 2 to Martin, 1 to Barstow, and now he needs to try and get another to level things up at 2-2.
Game on.
He may need something of a 5-visit nature just to get within touching distance of Martin, because he has to do it against the throw here. He's only averaging 75
81.
and change in this final. Martin is averaging 90 and a smidgen more.
96. $100.
Good steady playing from Adams. His bad visits are tons.
140.
Maybe the sign of a tiny bit of a tired arm there from Chaz. The third dart just came out a little bit late. And if they are a little bit tired, you wouldn't blame them.
100.
Playing at this late hour or this early hour, depending on how you look at it.
57.
I haven't done a great deal of that. I remember playing in the World Grand Prix against Ronnie Baxter and it went past midnight. And I remember being very tired, but still winning.
85.
But it's always a good sign when you're playing so late because it means that you've done well earlier in the night.
140. Martin, you require 100.
25 first with Barstow under 100. Bullseye is open for business.
63. Jazza requires 68.
Needs 5 more than that with a double at the end. Is it a level game?
36.
It isn't.
Martin, you require 72.
The chance of a second weekly title is very much alive for Wolfie. It's not going to be a 17 darter.
52.
And it's not going to be an 18 either.
Jazza
Said that Barstow needed something of 5 visit nature.
Game show on the
6 has done it.
Chaz Barstow.
It's 2-2, and we're down to best of 3 to see if Chaz can get a 3rd weekly title, or Martin Adams will get a 2nd. Will he join Chaz on that mark? We'll find out soon enough.
Game on. $36.
Seems to me like Barstow just isn't able to keep his throw. He's got it back, and then he starts with 36. You can see the frustration in his face.
85.
Trying to dispose of a wolf. How would you do such a thing?
100.
Got to outscore him, and Chaz Barstow can do that. There have been no maximums in this match so far. Until now.
125.
I'd be disappointed with that 5. That was a perfect lie for a maximum.
59.
At the conclusion of this match, don't go away, because we will grab a word with the winner. It'll be fascinating to get their thoughts.
85.
But if you are a Barstow fan, or a Wolfie fan, or indeed a Marsh fan, they're coming back.
139.
And Barstow is back in this leg to try and take out a 167 to get the lead. He has had this finish already this week. He got it last night. Or should I say it?
123. Chaz, you require 100.
On Friday night, but only just.
$58.
I'm not sure I'll be pleased with that effort.
Martin, you require 83.
It's Adams looking for another break of throw here. So we can have the chance to serve it out at 4-2.
42.
The bullseye is missed.
Chaz, you require 109.
That doesn't help. Hence the reaction. And Adams will look to sink a 3rd 17 darter
41.
of his match.
Martin, you require 41.
Double 16 again. Double 8.
33.
And maybe Barstow is getting more fortune than he
Chaz, you require
deserves.
68.
He won't care about that because he's got to take this chance. Double top.
48.
Misses.
Martin, you
What a
require
chance for
8.
Barstow to get a 3-2 lead. 7 visits and he couldn't get it done.
Game show on the 5th
Martin
leg.
Adams takes
Martin
advantage.
Adams.
It's an unlikely break of throw, but now he has the chance to win 4 legs to 2, and it would be another 4 legs to 2 match because the last 3 matches have all been by that
It's
scoreline.
Martin to throw first. Game on.
4-2 to Adams in his semi-final against Richardson. 4-2 to Barstow over Marsh. And then 4-2 to Marsh over Richardson.
100.
There have been another 3 4-2s.
96.
2 matches that have gone 4-3. And the 1 solitary bagel served up to Robert Thornton via Martin Adams. Win in match 3.
85.
High checkout of the night from Scott Marsh, 170. But the most dramatic match by a mile was Barstow versus Burness,
96.
where Kevin Burness missed 6 match darts to get the score he required to get through. Burness hits any of those shots,
140.
and Barstow's not even here. And if he doesn't get 2 treble 20s, which he's not going to now, it's looking very good for Wolfie.
44.
This is looking like the first finals night that Barstow is not going to win. What is it they say? You learn more from defeat than you do from winning.
85.
What will defeat tonight do for Barstow? Got to stay on the 19s. Got no choice. No choice.
83.
And he's missed the single. So Adams has got a cushion here
Martin, you
of which he can only dream about. Treble 14. The easy layup.
51.
Professionally done. I think Barstow knows. But just in case Adams does miss,
Martin,
he positions himself.
40.
So it's championship point for Adams in week 1.
Game shot down the
And that's all he needs.
Martin Adams.
Martin Adams wins in week 1. And he confines Barstow to his first defeat in a weekly final. But he gets his second weekly title. An absolutely sensational display as we get our 4th 4-2 in a row. Martin Adams was the only person to be undefeated for the night, so maybe it was destined for Wolfie to make the Champions Group. We're going to have a quick word with Martin Adams, with Phil Bars down in the playing area. So thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. Martin's going to have a word with Phil there right now.
And it is the 3 times champion of the world, Martin Adams. Martin, congratulations. A long day, but you played some great stuff across it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I played some good stuff, but also played some poor stuff as well. Some of it was a bit broken. But, you know, it's just one of them things. And it comes with old age, I think.
In the build-up, you said you were fresh and rested after the couple of days off. Do you think that served you well over the people that have played for the 5 days?
Yeah, certainly on the first 2 games tonight, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, getting them first 2 under your belt is very important. So I think it was really, really good.
Real tough group you come through there, but more importantly, the semi-final against James Richardson was probably your best game of the day.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. James had some bad moments in it, but yeah, it was a little bit unfortunate, but you know, I won it and that's it. That's the way darts goes.
And more importantly, you're into Champions Week, which must please you because there's a huge prize pool to play for at the end of it.
Exactly, yeah. All we've got to do now is get into the prize pool lot now. That's it.
Martin, many congratulations. You played some great stuff across the week. Pleasure having you here. Thank you for joining us, everyone here, Online Darts Live League and Sporty Stuff TV. We'll be back 9:30 Monday morning. Make sure you join us.